Hello everyone, it's Kelly here again and welcome back to my channel. Welcome back to my May bullet journal setup. Now first off, let's start with my April setup, which was loosely inspired by the Netherlands porcelain themes and the drawings they do on their porcelain, and in particular the Delft Royal Blue, which is something very traditional in decorating Netherlands porcelain, I guess. If you want to check this video out, I will have it in the cards, or you can just check out my channel. But for the month of May, I went with something very unoriginal, which was Star Wars. And I had the quote, "May the Force be with you," for quite a few days, and I just had it in my head, so I thought, well, why not? You know, I love a good pun, and I do love Star Wars, so it just made sense, and I wanted to do something more doodly, something more simple in terms of colors and design, so this is what I went with. I wasn't really sure what to do anyway, so it just worked, and I really like how it turned out. Honestly, it's very simple. It's a lot more filled with doodles, and it also has like it speaks Star Wars, at least to me. I added some elements. I try not to go overboard, just the most recognizable things, like you can see the quote on the left, the Millennium Falcon on the right, and the Death Star on the left bottom corner. So that is something that I think if you see it, even if you're not a fan, you'll know that this is Star Wars. So I wanted to do something again simpler, and I wanted to do the letters kind of like a galaxy. So what I ended up doing was coloring I tried to recreate, at least to some degree, the Star Wars font, and I tried to color all the letters in. I made them just kind of like fatter, I guess, more bold, so I can color them in and add stars and make it seem like a galaxy is kind of peeking through the letters, which I thought was really cool. Unfortunately, I had quite a bit of trouble with my white gel pens and my acrylic pens. I don't know what it is, but I just don't get along with mainstream art supplies. I've mentioned this before, for instance, my last video. The bullet journal community, especially here on YouTube, is really crazy about the Tombow Brush Pens, and I just don't get along with them. I also kind of don't get along with the Posca Pens, which is weird because I have tried like the acrylic ones, but I have this very skinny one that I wanted to do the stars with, but I don't know if mine is a dud or just the mechanism that it uses kind of didn't work for me, but it made a mess. That's like the easiest way that I can describe it. It made a complete mess, and through some points of the video, especially here on the first page, you will see my hand get gradually more tainted with white paint, just because that Posca pen was a nightmare to work with. And I don't know if I did it wrong, but everything is in white splatters on my desk, even my phone, so I'll just have to clean it all up. And now I don't know, I don't think I'll be using that pen again, or I don't know, I guess I'll try to use it beforehand and figure out exactly what to do, because everything it leaked everywhere, and at the same time it wouldn't draw on anything, which was really annoying. Either way, I made it work somehow, and it also wasn't drawing on my regular markers like you see me use right now to color in the black letters. It's just a simple regular childish kitty brand marker, and it didn't stick on top of it, which was a little annoying again. But that rant out of the way, I again like how it turned out. On my first page, I always do a quote and a little overview of the month, and on the second page I do my big calendar, where I write down all of my important dates when I have work, studies, and so on and so on. On the left of the calendar, I did a little lightsaber, and this is going to be where I'm going to track my monthly shifts for work, because I have to take 15 shifts every month, and I decided to color in each little box with red or blue, depending on what I end up choosing. I think I'm gonna go with red just because I always like the red lightsabers a lot more than the blue ones. I don't know why. I guess the dark side is just a lot more tempting because they have a lot much cooler lightsabers. Yeah. On the next page, I have my habit tracker. Something that I really loved about my previous theme was when I did my habit tracker, I did it on both pages, and I did it on like it covered both of the pages, and my habits were just empty lines, and each day I will write down which habit I did, and I really loved that. Unfortunately, I don't know why it didn't occur to me to copy it as a setup, or maybe I just didn't want to repeat myself, so I went back to more of a grid setup for this month's habit tracker, and I just have the habits on the left, and I will color in each square when I do a certain habit a certain day. But I will definitely go back to the lines and where I just write down the habit instead of coloring boxes, because this does, for instance, I have the go out little habit, which I count as both going out with my boyfriend, with my friends, with my family, and I do prefer marking out each going out with a different color, but or just marking out the different people that I go out with. And this way I can't really do it because it's in the grid, and in the lines I can actually add it as a bonus. But yeah, I guess I'll do it next month, or maybe I'll figure out some other setup in the months to come. On the next one, I have my mood tracker, and I did 2 lightsabers, and on the left side is one from the light side, I guess, and on the right is one that imitates like Kylo Ren's lightsaber, which I absolutely adore. I drew it twice in the spread because I think it's my favorite lightsaber design. It's just so cool. And I used absolutely every marker that I had to signify every mood that I might possibly have. So instead of just having happy, sad, and neutral, I also added when I'm annoyed, sick, when I have a headache. I do tend to have a lot of headaches, and I do tend to feel very tired and very sleepy all throughout different days. So I do want to track whether that has any connection to my the amount of sleep that I get, or if I don't know, if I have some health problems, because I have been having a lot of headaches and it's kind of annoying me. I also have very little energy, which is also very annoying, and I try to think of it just because the weather is kind of nasty and it's dark outside, or if it's cold and it's spring and that's why I feel tired. But I don't know, I hope as the weather gets better, I will start feeling more better and more refreshed. On the next page, I have my social media tracker, and on the left, I had this very stupid idea. I wanted to do, I didn't know how to incorporate my to-do list and my read list and my watch list, so I had the idea of doing, I don't know exactly what to call it, but I guess it's like ID badges for the different stormtroopers and Darth Vader, so that each of them has an ID badge. And I know that's so stupid, stormtroopers don't have ID badges, but I thought it was cute and it worked really well with what I wanted to put on those ID badges. So I don't know, it's cute, and it also gave me the opportunity to doodle on some stormtrooper masks and a Darth Vader mask. And also, I don't know if you guys noticed, but Darth Vader's mask looks kind of like a fly. I don't know, maybe that's like from the old movies, but also maybe I just drew it a bit wonky, but it looks so much like a fly. I was kind of wondering if I drew it wrong or something, but yeah, it's very recognizable in my opinion. Both like all 3 of the masks are, and it was the perfect way to incorporate my to-do list and all of the other lists. On the right side, you see my social media tracker, and I'm really proud with this one. I had no idea how to incorporate my tracker with a more original design, and I ended up going with this really cute BB-8 robot thingy, and I just made it look kind of like a sketch or like a blueprint. And I have all of the different social medias on the sides, kind of like they're a legend, I guess, for the sketch of the robot, and it's just some kind of detailing on its blueprint, something along those lines. And I think it looks really cute. I don't know if the blueprint idea comes across quite as much as it does in my head, but either way, the robot itself is so adorable. This is my favorite robot. When I was a kid, I was obsessed with R2-D2, but when I saw the design for this one for BB-8, I just fell in love. It's so cute, and it's so perfect for writing circly stuff around it. On almost all of the pages, I added some simple stars and sparkles and made it look like we're in space, and I think that made it made a big deal, and it made everything kind of work together. On the last page, it's very similar to my last month's setup. I have my sleep tracker with all of the hours. So far this is working really well for me. That's why I keep incorporating it in the same way. On each day I just track how many hours of sleep I got, and I color it in with a color. And for this month, I guess it would be gray, just because it's very simplistic and I don't want to go overboard with the colors. For a doodly Star Wars theme. On the right, I have my expenses tracker, which is a very simple table, which is my pluses and minuses, and divided by a really cool, again, lightsaber. I have my little brain dump on the bottom, and that's where I typically write down some quotes or things that I thought of, or things that made me happy or sad during the month that I am tracking. I usually don't end up filling this section up, but sometimes I do, but most times I don't. Most times I have like 1 or 2 quotes, but I have had months when I fill up an entire page, so I do like to keep my options open, more or less. So yeah, I guess that's it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. You will see a quick flip through right as I am done with the little stars and galaxies on this like font expenses thing, and I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a thumbs up, comment, like, and subscribe if you like what you see and would like to see more, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.